What's up, guys? Turtles and Tentacles here. Yes, I know. I went 2 videos without letting you know who I was. Uh, that name at the bottom, that's probably going to change. I would prefer to say Turtles and Tentacles. You can call me Turtles. You can call me Luca. You can call me Mr. Tentacles. Doesn't make a difference. Or, if you want to, you can call me that name right there at the bottom. So, today I'm going to have a thing called Turtle Talk. That's where I basically go with no script and I talk about a thing that's on my mind. What is on my mind now is what makes up a team. And when you think about making a team, especially making a story, because I like to write, you can't really have too many characters because it's really hard to keep track of it. Uh, I'm not the Russos, and I'm certainly not Josh Whedon, but Josh Whedon had a good starting point because he actually wrote some of my favorite comics, like Astonishing X Men, where he had a core of 6 to 8 X Men that we were focusing around that went into the field. I know a lot of people probably don't know too much about comic books, but I know everybody knows about these guys, the Avengers. Uh, let's go all the way back to the first Avengers. You have 6 characters, even though those 6 characters you see Hawkeye fighting everybody else doesn't make a difference. When you think about those 6 characters, each of those 6 characters has a role. And in this video, I'm going to try to make my own Avengers team for who knows, maybe a future movie, maybe a future story I might write, maybe a future comic book. Who knows? So, first thing you got to think about when making a team, especially like the Avengers, think about think about the movies. Who is the leader of that team? Some people say Iron Man. Some people say Captain America. Honestly, I think personally the leader of that team is split, but leaning towards Captain America. And the reason I say it's split is because Tony Stark is the benefactor. He gives them a place to sleep. He gives them all the gear they need, all the tech they need. They don't really have to worry about doing or paying for anything because you have him. And at the same time, Tony in the first movie deferred to Captain America because, well, he's from World War II. He actually led a group of people called the Howling Commandos. He knows all about battlefield scenarios and things like that. He's pretty good and pretty quick on his feet. Even if something surprising happens, he still kind of springs to action. So I kind of give Tony the leadership because he knew. Well, this is the guy who knows how to call the orders, but it's leaning more towards Cap slash down the line. So to make things a little bit easier, I'm just gonna go ahead and just go with the movie Avengers. I won't throw anybody from the comic books that hasn't been shown yet, but I will use people who have been mentioned to have like shows on Disney Plus or have upcoming movies. So this team is gonna be a team of what's a good number? Because if you think of Age of Ultron, it was still 6 of them, but towards the end, they got 4 more people: Vision, Falcon, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch. But then Quicksilver died, and then Hawkeye retired. Hulk went off world. So technically, we are left with and Tony kind of semi quits. We're left with Cap, Black Widow, Rhodey, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, Vision, and that's 6 guys. So I guess we're just gonna stick with I'm gonna stick with 6, but I'm gonna insert like 2 extras in there. So going forward with this team that we're making, who would be a good leader? Well, do not take if we take into consideration Endgame and think about who is here and who is not here, I would automatically say our leader. Hmm. For me, it's kind of a toss up between Spider Man and Falcon slash new Captain America. He's coming up with his own series. He's gonna grow into being a leader. He's been a leader in the comic books. You can look it up on Marvel Wiki. He has no issues with leading. The reason why I threw Spider Man in there It's because Peter Parker essentially is stepping into that Tony Stark role. He's saving the world his way. Technically, he's still saving the neighborhood, but yeah. If you saw the end of Far From Home, you may be saying, well, how is he going to do it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how he's going to do it. He's going to do it. But I would automatically stock the team with both of those. Because you have Sam, who has battle experience, and you have Peter Parker, who has that tech knowledge, who essentially made his own suit on top of inside of a plane going towards the battlefield. So that's two spots taken. My number three spot. See, when you think of these teams, you got the brains, you got the leader, right? And of course, what comes next is the muscle. Well, what counts as muscle? Because when you think about the first team, you got Thor and Hulk, right? Hulk is obviously the muscle. So what is Thor? Well, I kind of you can switch those two around and say that Thor is the muscle. Then what is Hulk? Well, Hulk is the ace in the hole. Hulk is like, damn, we have this giant fish thing coming towards us. Who's gonna take that out? Oh, never mind, we got a Hulk. Or on the flip side, man, we got this whole army that's swarming in on us. Wait, what's that beam of light? Oh, it's just Thor with his new hammer. The ace is in the hole. Uh, for this new cinematic universe, my pick for Muscle, while he's still alive currently, I would pick Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk. Now, if you know anything about She-Hulk, Jen Walters is a lawyer, so she's also smart, but she has that Hulk strength while able to still be in her right mind. Unfortunately, with the current comics, as of I want to say maybe late to mid 2018, for whatever reason, the artist decided to make her look more like the Incredible Hulk as opposed to looking like, you know, a strong femme fatale. I don't know why some people think that women can't have muscles, be strong, and then still like have some type of femininity to them. Whatever. But if Marvel does what I think they're gonna do with She-Hulk, she will be a nice little cornerstone on this team, ripping out light poles, taking out those little stop signs, and just hitting people in the head with them. She'll be a great piece of strength. That's what I'm gonna put her in strength. She's not really an ace in the hole. She's a strength role. The ace in the hole for this team is Doctor Strange, and I say it's Doctor Strange because if you think about the power levels, not even the power levels, you think about the power set of Thor and Doctor Strange. Well, Thor is a god. He has godly powers. What does Doctor Strange have? He has mystical abilities that he learned and is able to go through different dimensions. I mean, that's kind of the point of his upcoming movie. So I would fit him in there. Plus, he's also highly intelligent. We have now on our team. No offense to, excuse me. No offense to Sam Wilson. We got three really smart people on this team. While one kid is technically a genius, the other two can follow what he's saying and be able to complete tasks. So that's four. We got four people on our team. Who would be number five? Well, given Thor Love and Thunder, I think number five, and yeah, we're going to have two aces because I'm going to get into this. We're going to get Jane Foster as Lady Thor, or as they say, the Mighty Thor. When you think about that original team, you had Tony, Cap, Hulk, Thor. Then you had Black Widow and Hawkeye. What is what separates Black Widow and Hawkeye from the others? Aside from, if you know anything about Black Widow, she's technically Captain America, but with Russian training. She's been trained by Bucky, the Winter Soldier. excuse me, things of that nature, right? And Hawkeye, he's peak physical human condition. Hawkeye is actually one of my favorite Avengers. If I was to write my own comic, he would be on that team. Probably end up being the leader of that team because Clint Clint Barton has that much experience, especially in the comic books. But I digress. These two movie characters, they're kind of the X factors. They, you know, while while Bruce slash Hulk wouldn't want the world to be destroyed, these are two characters that are always human. These are two characters that are always having in the back of their mind, you know, we have Hawkeye has a family. We need to save the world because this is where we live. I feel like Jane Foster Thor would bring that to the table, and she would also bring a little bit of levity. And what I mean to say by that is, Peter's young. He's gonna bring. He's also in addition to bringing the smarts, he's also gonna bring the comedy, much like his. I don't want to say foster dad, but much like his father figure, Tony Stark brought. Sam is a funny guy, but I have a feeling that when he steps into this Captain America role, he's gonna he's still gonna crack jokes, but it's gonna be go time. You know, I gotta focus. I gotta pay attention to the mission. Um, Doctor Strange is pretty serious most of the time, and we don't really know quite yet how Jennifer Walters is. Jennifer Walters used to break the fourth wall in the '80s when they first came out with her comic, but in the panels, it wasn't all the time, but on the front covers, if you look it up, she's always breaking the fourth wall here and there, right? So you bring this character that's gonna have this. You bring Jane Foster Thor, and if you think about how she is in the movies, she's always looking on the bright side. You're gonna need that, especially when trying to push through, world-ending events, or trying to take on villains who are trying to take over the world or destroy the world, or you know, be Loki. So that brings me to, let's see, we got Sam Wilson, Peter Parker, Jenna Walters, Doctor Strange, Lady Thor. Number 6. While each of these characters have wonderful, wonderful abilities, uh, one thing they don't have is resources. Number 6, I would put for Black Panther. Black Panther is, well, now he's the king of Wakanda, right? Dude has money out the wazoo. He has near endless resources. If you guys need to go from, I don't know, from Switzerland to LA, he's going to have those jets to just send you over there. They might even come up with teleportation. Well, and this is if you're trying to remain low key, because of course, Doctor Strange can move you from here to there, but it kind of looks weird to see a hole open up in the middle of space. So those are my 6. Now we're gonna give you 2 extras because way too many characters to just give you 6. Now, since I'm doing this off the cuff, I'm gonna give myself 5 seconds to think of other heroes. Who would be a good X Factor? Well, we're talking about bringing in Fantastic Four, right? I think you're gonna need another strength person. I can easily see the Thing, Ben Grimm, being on this team. Uh, he joined the Avengers back in 2010, 2008 ish. He joined the New Avengers. He was on that team. He was on that team taking on Siege in the comics. It's not that hard to see him joining this group, especially if you have another. If they do the Star Wars thing and there's another world-ending event in New York, which is where the Fantastic Four are, and Ben Grimm just happens to be going down the street getting a hot dog, he's gonna jump in here. He's a wonderful addition because not only does he link this new Avengers group to the Fantastic Four, he allows for cameos. Because remember, Spider-Man also appeared in the one of the first issues of Fantastic Four. Spider-Man has uh, deep rooted connections with them, especially with the Future Foundation. If you don't know it, look it up. Uh, my eighth pick, my eighth pick, and as much as I want it to be Wolverine, Storm from the X-Men. Why Storm? Well, no offense to Marvel, they're trying to diversify more. And well, you can easily put Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie in there because who knows, maybe Valkyrie and Lady Thor are going to have some type of romantic relationship. You never know. Again, with Ben Grimm, bringing in Storm, you're connecting the X-Men to the Avengers. And if you put Ben Grimm in there, you're connecting the X-Men to the Fantastic Four, who, if you know anything about your comics, Sue Richards and Reed Richards, or Sue Storm, nay, Storm, uh, their son, Franklin Richards, he's a mutant. This will set up in the future saying, I mean, who knows what might happen? Maybe when we get to Fantastic Four, movie 4 or 5 in 2035, Franklin Richards is going to pop up, right? Uh, and that's just going based on like in universe things. When you think about Storm as a mutant, she's an Omega level mutant. Omega level is the top of the top. She controls the weather. You know, yeah, you got Lady Thor, but at the same time, who wouldn't want to see Thor and Storm working together? It would create for another iconic eye catch. And when by iconic eye catch, think about that first Avengers movie when Iron Man was shooting a repulsor into Cap's shield and it was just flying off, hitting everybody. Think about in Age of Ultron when Cap put up the shield and Thor hit the hammer and everything shockwaved. Think of, well, it's kind of dirty saying this, but think of the combination when Winter Soldier and Cap were fighting Iron Man, and they're confusing him until he has to blow off that dude's arm. Good stuff. And until he's making Cap bloody, you get good combinations like that. There's no such thing as like too many characters with similar powers, because the powers of Thor are, while it's you control lightning, you manifest thunder and things like that. You can at one point in time you can control the weather, but that's in the comics. Storm controls everything. She can make ice. She can make sleet. She can make hail. She could. I don't know if a sandstorm counts as a weather, but if Pokemon taught me sandstorm counts as a weather, she can create weather. So here I am. I made your MCU team based on things that we know are going to come up, and we have Spider-Man as tech guy, Sam Wilson, the Falcon slash new Captain America, as the leader. We have Jane Foster as the Mighty Thor. We have Jennifer Walters as She-Hulk. We have Dr. Stephen Strange being the Mystic one. Also, to interrupt myself, Stephen Strange being in there, he has connections with Spider-Man, and many of you might not know this. A lot of Spider-Man stuff is pretty mystical. There's like a big spider god that Peter had met once, and he, for a short time, comic-wise, he was able to talk to spiders and hear spiders, knowing spiders were around. That makes a bridge, and if Sony can stop being jabronis and get with the program, who knows what Marvel could do with that. But I digress. Stephen Strange, Black Panther, and then X Factors, Ben Grimm, and Aurora Monroe, aka Storm. So, thank you for joining me for this little random, turtle talk. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. please. I'm trying to, I enjoy doing this. It's about time I was able to just be able to ramble off. I plan on making a video about Ninja Turtles, and one of the things I want to do on here is tell stories, not just stuff that I've already written. I'm gonna try to think of new stuff just for this, which had some ideas. I got some ideas. Tell me, if you were able to make an Avengers group, who would you make? Who would be on that team? You can have, let's say 6. What 6 people would you put on your Avengers group? Whether they're in the movies or in the comics, let me know. Until next time, guys, be good, be blessed. Always be Super Saiyan.